March.
Yeah.
And I didn't really get much time as well to visit the station, but I'm glad we made this happen.
Yeah,
Nakita
man.
tabalik.
Yeah, I know, right? So,
Yeah.
what did you do for the past week? You were just visiting your Lola and
Yeah.
and attending the different
Family stuff, seeing
gatherings.
friends, trying to tap into the local scene, and seeing what's going on, what's new. And a lot has changed in the past. I mean, since the time I was gone, which was 2018.
Really?
Music-wise.
Yeah, really. You think so?
Quite some time.
Yeah, I mean, like, there are, like, obviously kids that I don't know about.
So 2018,
Dito na ako niya.
pila ka tuig na since then, 8 years, right?
8 years.
So,
years.
yeah.
to me, that's not a long time, at least because we've been around for a long time in this planet, right? But in 8 years, what has changed to your observation?
Well, one thing was like, at least when I was there, right? When the first year I was away, that's when we worked on Cookies and his project.
Yeah.
And that's when it blew up 2019,
Yeah.
pre-COVID.
Yeah. I remember
So
that.
I
yeah.
went home for that because I had to ride the hype and just like enjoy it because we worked on that for quite a bit.
Yeah.
And after that, pandemic, diba?
Yeah.
So, I would say that things changed after that whole thing. Like when he came out with his music, it was
Yeah.
like there are a lot more kids that are
Correct.
doing the same thing, who are encouraged to do the same thing and be a lot more expressive sa ilang, musical taste. And,
I guess although it was just 8 years since 2018, I think now that you mentioned it, like, totally complete. How could I forget
Yeah.
the pandemic? Right? I think katong pandemic, it really accelerated or decelerated, if you will, a lot of things that are supposed to happen actually happen quicker, and those things that were bound to self-destruct actually also did happen, right? So it was like a kind of a speeding up of the world, right?
Yeah, I would agree.
Katong pandemic. Don't you agree, Bayjay? Imong tanaw sa ang kalibutan ba murag grabe kaayo na tayog ba in all sorts of directions, forwards, backwards, right? Kaning panalitan katong Zoom meetings, di ba? Oh, that wasn't a thing, although Zoom already existed, pero wa gito siya ingon nga ana ka grabe ka prevalent.
Online media, all these things.
I would say even in terms of music, like that's one thing I could say too is people had all this time indoors, and then there was YouTube, and the kids started to learn how to produce music on their own. There's no choice, right? You can't play in a bar, you can't play in a club. So the only thing you could do was live stream if you're a DJ. And if musician ka, you'd have to learn how to produce and be self-sufficient as a musician. So that accelerated people's growth, and that is very evident in the output that I've seen come out over the past 8 years.
When you say accelerated musicians being self-sufficient, wasn't there already a kind of wave of musicians that were going independent or did not anymore require or demand a recording contract with a major music label? Wasn't there already a kind of movement towards that direction even before the pandemic, or did it start during the pandemic?
I think it's always been there, and like you said, the pandemic just really accelerated everyone and their inclination towards technology, because everyone became hyper online. So like the pace of your output has to match the consumer behavior.
Pero ang the beauty of what happened in the pandemic and its acceleration is we also knew what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly.
So makibaw sa ta unsay day pitfalls of or the limits of what technology can do. But dili technology can't do it all.
And a lot of people got to learn more about their stuff. They master their crafts. There's a lot of time to do the YouTube online academy where they get to be their own producers. They made their own music more, and they learned all these other nitty-gritty stuff. So
unsa may nakatuna nimo, Fonzy? What did you learn during that period of experimentation? What does not work?
I think what doesn't work is not being online. I think right now.
No. My question is being online all the time during the pandemic. What works and what doesn't?
It's hard to say because I think it was an experimental phase
exactly.
for a lot of people.
That's why. So in that experiment, what do you think does not work?
Let me try to think of that because I really don't have an answer because I
Yeah.
feel like it was just a bunch of people doing different things.
Yeah, that's why. So it was easy to see
easy to
failures,
see-
right?
Yeah, it's easier. It's
And
easy to A/B
successes.
test.
Yeah.
And that we had that advantage.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's like okay, I put out a song today. In the next 3 weeks, it doesn't blow up. Okay, move on to the next. Diba? It's
how about this? Let me propose an observation.
Okay.
What doesn't work is you can't just be online. You have to have live concerts. You have to shake people's hands. They have to see you perform live and in the flesh. Is that correct assessment?
Yeah, I think that's a correct
Yeah,
assessment. I think the demand for live music, like despite the creation of different economies like live streaming and the creator marketplace, I think it just exemplified the fact that seeing music live and seeing your favorite creators and talent live is irreplaceable, and I think that's one thing.
right.
Even with the verge of AI, it's become. I think it'll become more prevalent than ever.
Yeah, so it's best that your fans or your potential fans see
Yeah.
you perform
Yeah.
live, right?
I think human connection is still going to be it's always going to be important.
Yeah,
and
because
valuable.
there's only so much that
never replace that.
a video of you or a concert of you streamed live on your cell phones or on your mobile devices. There's only so much that can do, right?
Yeah.
Nothing beats live. I don't want to bring up Taylor Swift, right? But I have to because
Yeah.
she's like the apex musician, right?
Yeah.
So what she showed to the world is that you have to do a tour, and you have to show yourself to your millions of adoring fans, right?
Yeah.
And I think it was like the prime example of still having to do live events and live concerts. It can't be just you performing in front of a camera for the world to see on their mobile devices, right?
Yeah.
You have to be out there.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, nothing is ever going to replace a live show. Online supplements, your brand as an artist, and it strengthens, the demand.
But unfortunately, Taylor Swift is a kind of a unique example, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like how many Taylor Swifts are there? There's only one, right?
Yeah.
So how about you on your side, Fonzy? What happened? What's been going on with Fonzy in the last couple of years?
Yeah, well, I've been working on the music side.
Okay.
Since moving, I took a step back from the artistry for a while, from being an artist.
Oh.
Focused more on being a producer, and as I mentioned before,
Okay.
I was working with Cookies. Have a little bit of a connection with home. Work with a bunch of local artists as well while over there, but also working on a lot of records in the North American side. But primarily, I've been focused more on marketing and management for some EDM artists back there. So that's what I do. That's the bread and butter of my role in the music industry, in the North American industry right now. So,
These are Filipinos that you're
no,
producing?
these are North American artists. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I hear you have a brand new song coming out, and in fact, from what I understand, this is like kind of a house and stuff.
Yeah, it's an Afro house song.
Tell me about it. Tell me about Afro
house,
beats, right?
Yeah, it's an Afro house song. Well, I've been experimenting a lot with house music and EDM since even when I was here, right? When I had that Fonzy project, and you played my song like
Yeah.
a million different times, like on on a different platform, which
Yeah.
I'm very thankful for.
Yeah.
But yes, I've always experimented with house music, EDM, and Afro house was something that I got into early last year, late 2024. And this record is called, the one that you're about to play is called Tuta. It's with a Nigerian singer. It's a very slow down tempo of house music, around 120 to 123 BPM. So it's more chill.
Right.
I'm sure you know the song Move by Kane Music. It's sort of in the same vein of that. It's a genre that's taken over the world pretty much
Right.
from 2024 to 2025. So I leaned into that.
What does that mean when because I remember before when
Yeah,
somebody says it's about to rule the world. We're talking about 100 million sales in actual hard copies of records, right?
Yeah.
So when you
What
say,
does it mean now?
What does it mean now when you say?
Yeah.
Because for me, music, just like any sector of culture or the arts or even civil society, it's so fragmented.
Yeah.
Like it's possible for you to be 100 million fans famous, but nobody knows you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what does that mean? When you say that, Fonzy, what do you mean when it's taking over the world? What does that mean?
I don't think there's a difference between now and then. I think the only difference is the medium and the medium of consumption, actually, which now it's digital streaming, right? Before it was measured in physical sales, like you said, 100 million physical copies.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's Michael Jackson
Yeah.
numbers.
Exactly.
In this day and age, it's 1 billion streams, and the one metric which isn't very quantifiable but more felt is the cultural impact it has across different countries,
correct.
continents.
I believe that.
So if like I have a song, like let's take the Move song for example. It's big in North America. I see my friends in the Philippines in Cebu. They know the song too, and I see some friends in let's say in Spain, they know the song too. So like once you can penetrate all those markets, then that's when one would consider a song very culturally significant and taken over the world.
The word cultural is actually a huge word, right?
Yeah.
I mean, cultural is not just about the music.
Yeah.
In fact, of course, we all know the surge of the social media influencer, right?
Yeah.
And it seems to me that you can no longer delineate or separate the artist from the influencer, right? I mean, you can't be just a great singer, but you have no riz. You're not an influencer. You're not famous, right?
Like how you said riz.
Right. So it's interesting. It's interesting now, right? It's very interesting now that the great artists. It's possible to have unbelievable talent, but nobody knows you, and nobody listens to you, and all of that stuff because you're not charismatic.
Exactly. I think that's a big part of being an artist now, and I would argue that being an artist is, not any different from before, but more than ever important. It's 80% marketing now and branding, and 20% your talent. Because there's so many talented people I know, and no one knows about them. No one's heard about them because it's a very saturated market.
Right. Global.
And you have to cut through with your personality and not just your sound.
What's causing the saturation? Is it because of the omnipresence of technology?
Yeah, I was going to say it's the easy access to technology and easy access to art. Back then you would know this, that art was considered a very bourgeois, something that people of
very
a higher
expensive
status would enjoy.
It's very expensive to record an album, to record a song, right? A lot of people in Cebu could not afford to record a song because it would cost them an arm and a leg, right?
Now it's so easy. You can literally just buy a laptop and get a microphone and record it yourself.
Right.
That is also happening not just in music, but in all facets of society, right? For example, the citizen journalist, right? Everybody thinks he's part of media. Everybody who has a mic, not even a microphone,
a cell phone.
There's this joke that they should issue licenses for podcasts.
Exactly. in fact, that's what I heard. I don't know if it's fake or not, but I saw a post that said China Kono is if you want to talk about something of a specific field, you have to have the educational background to talk about that. Otherwise, you can't. You can't talk about.
I saw that too. Yeah, I think that's a very valid law to implement.
Yeah.
I think people have the illusion that anyone can just get on a soapbox and preach.
Yeah.
Although you don't need fully an educational background, but as long as you have the exposure and have been there credibility magudang imuhang more on
but I think
wait. So what does credibility, what does that mean? Like
you said.
Because I might not be a graduate of, let's say, electrical engineering.
Correct, yeah.
But I have been an electrician all my life. And I have been the guy who operates for this electrical engineer who owns this company.
So you're not an electrical engineer.
Yeah, but I don't have the educational stuff. But I'm the guy who works for it. Ako ang nagtrabaho. Anabay kabawa ko sa mga linkages, sa mga kuryente and so on. Ako may nag-istorya ninyo kaya ako man ang hands-on. I'm the one on the grounds. I'm the one who can translate this to you.
But see, the thing is, karon grabe na kayo kakusog mulihok ang teknolohiya, di ba? So kadaghanan na nang panalitan mga doktor, di ba? Kanang mga doktor moadto gid na sa laing-laing lugar kay para mo update silang mga skill sets, update sila mga seminar, di ba?
Yeah,
para makaibaw sila unsay bag-ong
technology man nila.
Treatment sa this and that, di ba?
Yeah.
Bagong
I think
tambal.
the same goes with your example kanang electrical engineering ka. Unya panalitan ay mo abot nga bagong teknolohiya niya, computerized niya, imong naibaw-an kay walay computer. Mansao man na mo be. Kinahanglan juga mo update na niya. So kinahanglan juga mo maybe mo attend kag seminar, mo eskwela ka, di ba? Kinahanglan
Upgrades.
kinahanglan gyapon ka og a kind of formal quote unquote or maybe formal education ba, masig dili necessarily university.
Bisag ko na certificate lang, no?
Certificate
Diploma,
lang.
naman inana. TESDA, EDC2.
Inana siguro.
You know?
Kay importante kayo ng updating ba of skill set, di ba? Kay kung panalitan ko ng mga mekaniko, kana silang kadaghanan ato mga mekaniko uban na wa man na eskwela og mechanical auto mechanics, di ba? Pero pag abot na sa computer, wa na sila kabawon sa buhaton, oy. Ana bitaw, so kinahanglan jud kaayo nga maski giingon ka nga dili kinahanglan mo eskwela, pero kung ganahan ka mo upgrade sa imong skill set, kinahanglan gyapon ka mo sud ka classroom siguro, ara minimum siguro kaning
okay, hours.
Na jud kay hours spent. Ikaw, Fonzy, where did you learn your being a musical artist? Were you self-taught? Did you go to school? Was it because of your family influence? What tell us?
I was self-taught.
Okay.
Yeah, I mainly got into music because I did sports, but then I never made I was varsity, but then I was always benched, so I needed something to be good at.
Which sport is this, man?
Basketball.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I needed something to be good at, and mostly self-taught through the University of YouTube.
Oh, wow. In case you're wondering who you're listening to, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Fonzy live in the studios of 105.1 TMC, fresh from Canada. And of course, Canadian siya, together with Baijaya and me, Jiggy Juice. And of course, to my left, we have Raf Chavez, who's fresh from the comfort room. No, we were fresh from the Sinulog, ba? Sa Sinulog unya.
Dito. Yawara ba mo kailang Cindy?
Mo lagi.
Hasta kagwapo gini niyo.
Kami ni Ralph Chavez nagtanaw mi kinsam ning gagubulta nila. In fact, I was close to her because she was in a booth just across us. Wa mi kinsam ning gagubulta nila niya gibidyohan lang mo gipost mo gi-identify sa among mga viewers sa mga fans nga si Cindy Cinco na. Be pasabta ko now that you know that it was Cindy Cinco. Unsa may naibalaan nimo, Raf? Unsa may naibalaan mo ni Cindy Cinco? Did you do your research now? Ang ako naibawan na niya is kana si Cindy Cinco, sexy na siya nga babae nga naminyog afam. Kanang afam lingaw kayo sa ang mga Pilipino kay mura ni siya ganing naka-jackpot ba nga ang afam gitagaan siya tanan nga mga yang ganahan maglarga-larga siya so pin yang baba kuno kanang basa kuno kay sanan kanang bastos kay ba nya mo nang nisikat si Cindy Cinco pasabta kuno ko rap unsay na imong nasabta ni Cindy Cinco rap.
Well that part of that sa imong giingon mo po na nakita nako nga kuan siya very brazen nga personality, vlogger for the most part, and kuan po siya very very generous sa iyang social media.
Sige panghatag.
Dagan kay siya mga
Mora ba na definition sa maayong tao diri sa Pilipinas kuno, may manghatag, di ba? Maayong tao kani si mayor okay, sige panghatag di ay.
Kamo duha ba kanang sa lalaki lang side ba kami makakita mi sa among algorithm ana. Magduda lang unsa may nas algorithm ninyo murag si kato man siguro inyo makita si kaning si Jupita. Yung naila. Ha?
So second sa man si Cindy Cinco. Who is Cindy Cinco to you?
Ang linya
kaning Baijaya.
Kanang naabot sa algorithm. Ang iyang line, the line goes like this, Fonz. A day in the life sa kaburikat na napuyo sa Amerika. Wala ko na naman. Kana din na siyang generous ako nakita niya. Pagdungog na ko ng linya, tinglingaw, I really find her very
so influencer
funny. Influence mo na akong kita niya. Ako lang sa side na ko. Nindot sa niya lawas. Ay gwapam sa niya nga Pilipina kanang gitawag lang exotic, igsuon sa itik.
Exotic.
Exotic. So, para na ko kabaw kaila-ila ko na niya, mga linggaw ko niya. Mo gina yung line na day no life. Sa kabrikat, boy sa Amerika. Mo, yung linggaw kayo sa nan. So ano one town mo kaila yung sos ni atong
Anyway, so the internet taught us who she was. That's why it went viral on the TMC Facebook page. We have hundreds of thousands, put na millions of views because of that particular post where we were situated right in front of Cindy Cinco. Kami ni Ralph Chavez, kinsom na Ralph, naingon ni si Ralph, Jiggy, who's that? Isig pangutanahin, kinsa o may kailag yun niya.
Oh, pero in our defense ba kay ang nahitabo ang jud ato is we were at a distance and yet when the first sugod ang kanang murag
kisaw
ang kagubot gani niabot siya kay natabunan pa siya sa mga trees dili na mo makita ang makakita ra kay among cameraman si Justin si Justin ang nakakita jud sa naong niya so kami naghuwat ra pod yung istorya sa Justin
Boy siya maingon
pa siya ningon kung kinsa na
Justin
so napod na
Mona siya. Ikaw Fonz, daghan maka mga kailang mga influencers because you're in that realm, right? Kinsa man imong paborito nga social media influencer nga diri taga Pinas,
taga Pilipinas, Cebu.
I like Jit. I like
Jit Durano.
Adis na turn his life around. It's funny, dugay na kay Mikaela ng Jit.
Yeah, correct. Don't you have a song with him?
Yeah, I have a couple songs with him. And then you've known him for the longest time, right? One of my first friends sa music scene.
Yeah.
And like seeing him now compared to kung ang nailan niya sa una ba, it's like, wow, Jid, like you really turned your life around and you're the David Goggins of the Philippines basically. Karang motivational type.
Nakahinumdum ko naghimo na siya mini documentary about his life and how he went crazy because of drugs and all that stuff.
I was like, damn, this is it's still the same Jid I knew, like in terms of unsa niya, like how gritty he is and like how passionate he is about his like sharing his craft and his message, you know. So it's like wow, it's like still Jid but different.
Because what I know now is that he's always running. He's
always running.
What about his being a musician, a rapper? Is he still doing that or no?
I think it's still there. I don't think he puts himself in a box anymore, which is great. Like it's not one dimensional. I think he's more of an eclectic creator, I would say.
So what else does he do aside from run? Like
I have no idea. I actually have to talk to him. I have to see him at some point. But yeah, like I'm happy for him. Because his career, I guess, really took off.
Yeah, because
after that, and it's like a positive effect to people. I can see.
Don't you? But di ba, murag migo man na sa ni Ongart, di ba?
Oh,
mo na yang ka-Berks, di ba? Si Ongart, di ba?
Yeah.
Kana sa siya, that's also another social media influencer. Ikaw ba Jai? Kana imuhang advokasya nga kaning mga kaning environmentalism, paghuman mga lumad and all of that stuff. Kinsa may mga influencer anang mga dapita diya?
Gagan naging kahoy ako. I mean more on si Celine Morillo. Di na siya Bisaya pero ambot Bisaya ba na? And then si Tarkurugki, kanang si Ethan Fernandez karon, kanang mga about trees masad ni sila. Pero di sad ko malayo ang mga patspasiaw pod nga kinsa man nga tuang gipang sunod diri nga Bisaya nga kanang mga bayot-bayot malingaw sa kuha na nila niya katong ganina akong ipakita ni Raf kining kalimusin nga to basta more na akong makuhanan sa Bisaya varied wide kayo
para nako ba every movement, every advocacy needs unfortunately an influencer, right? In this day and age, right?
Bitaw.
Nakabantay ka nga imbis manrabaho na sila, mag-ikid-ikid na sila, magsayo-sayo na sila in front of the camera because importante kayo nga kaibaw ang mga tao nga ni-exist ka. So akong gipangutanan nag-post ba ako niaging simana. Nakikita mong kugod nga kinumdum ko atong mga babae nga governor sige sayo-sayo, di ba? Ang atong niaging nga governor sige sayo-sayo karong bagong governor sige sayo-sayo. Akong pangutana ba? Wa mo koy gilabanan, wa mo koy gidapigan. Sa akong pangutana, anong sayo pa magid ka? Unsa nganong bleg man trabaho na lang ta nganong manayo man gyud. So ang answer nako niya na is
bitaw. Unsa may
because kinanglan ka nga if you wanna get things done, kinanglan nga sikat ka nahibaw
like ni mention ni Fonzy
nang makahibaw ang mga tao nga ni-exist ka. That's not my explanation, that's my rationalization. I don't know if it's a correct mentality or that's the way they think You have to go down to
Sabay.
to the level of
Sabay sa panahon.
of where your voters are.
Yes,
Where the
yes.
where the masses.
Exactly.
What are your thoughts on that? Kaning funds sa Canadian society, inyong mga gobernador, inyong mga congressman,
tao
mga
ito.
presidente ninyo, mga senador magsasayo basad?
They man.
Huh?
I mean, our ex-prime minister is dating Katy Perry.
Yeah, but he's the
He's the
ex prime minister,
I mean,
right?
no, there's less antics there.
Oh.
You know, I mean, like every place in the world has its own drama.
Yeah.
But
Unsa may drama din sa mga Canadian day?
I don't think kanang kuan, like I'm not well versed to speak on the topic, pero kuan are good. Like, you know, there's some scandals every now and then. Like probably years ago, kasi isa ka prime minister is very worldwide. Worldwide known as sorry, not prime minister, but the mayor of our city who like was into heroin and or drugs and prostitutes, and like he was very like, you know, unapologetic about it.
Okay.
So that was very entertaining.
Okay. Pero why magsayo-sayo?
Ay magsayo. I mean, ay magsayo-sayo.
Nah, siguro. Every now and then.
Every now and then, and like people just are like, "What are you doing? Like, do your job."
But does that
whatever,
work, babay? In the Philippine society?
Come on, Philippines pa. We need more humor and we're very much in touch with humor side.
Yeah.
Correct.
Kay
Yeah.
novelty mo guni ato ang pamaagi diri. Dito sila mo gud na pagkaseryoso man gud sila, di ba?
Yeah, but then there's also
every now and then
mukha sila like,
trend.
yeah, they'll get on stage and dance. It really depends on the person,
But-
you know, the personality.
But that's really our culture. Good pagkatawa gud ta.
Mm.
Usog gid ta magpasiaw ba. So di gud malikayan nga kanang mga inana na magputang gud sila post nga nanayaw sila, magbutang
Yeah.
sila og mga hinanggaw panagsa. No?
Yeah.
Yeah, even our governor, I mean, you know, God bless her heart, is mukuan jud sila mo pakita gud sila mga somehow mga katawanan ra ba.
I think,
No?
I think every government siguro, like you need to show like some personality and like show that you're actually a human and like in touch with the lighter side.
Kana bitaw.
Good PR, yeah.
True.
Murag human, right?
Yeah.
You're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to analyze what you're saying. Ba? Kay, what is that? What does that mean?
Like, balik yun mo, human.
Dili ba kaya akong pasabot ba is ang ako sang nahibalan sad is mas nindot na ang usa ka political official or leader nga dili nimo di nimo madunggan because nagtrabaho lang in the background.
Yeah.
Kanang iingon silang mas nindot kuno nang nasod kuno nga boring kuno ang mga politician kay that means they're
True.
doing their jobs.
True, yeah.
Pasabot na sig pakita sa ilang mga naong, pasabot na wa na sila gibuhat kay na busy sila og pakita silang naong.
Lahi na siya. It's another case.
Mo na akong pasabot.
Kung ikaw bitaw, kaning nakita mo gud na ron is everybody's an influencer.
Correct,
Okay? Na mo usahay nga mo get into your kuana na siya, it would get into your flow. Mao na imong gibuhat nakalimot na ka that you're doing a job otherwise that you're needed and required to do your role as this kumbaga alkalde ka or ikaw ba ang kuan. Kay makalimot naman ka nga ay di mo day ko influencer no. Kay ang imuhang optics, ang imong lens, imong gitan-aw is you have to please the social media crowd rather than actually
Do your job.
doing your job. Pirmahan to nimo dito at to ninong no? Because na tendency man gud sa uban
Mas importante na nila.
mas importante nila ang social media no kaysa sa ilang trabaho mo nang resulta way matrabaho mo human daghan kay pending
Pero ang perception is busy kay siya tanan oy.
busy
Busy
Yes,
kay millions of views good.
busy ha.
Performance na.
Pero
na.
ikaw Fonz, you're actually a performer, right?
Yeah.
So social media is just but
It's a
your
performance.
Naturally
kaning medium nimo, di ba?
exactly yeah.
I think anyone on social media kailangan should mo perform. Like that's how I think
Yeah,
it,
exactly,
you know,
right?
it's
Right.
performative art.
Correct. So ikaw Fonz, like how do you quote unquote perform on social media?
Well,
Like aside from your actual performance as a singer.
It's very corny to say,
Yeah.
but I think authenticity kay mao na ganang pinaka-importante still. And if there's a way that you can, you know, perform while being authentic, then
What is okay, I know I'm being a philosopher again.
No, let's do it.
What does that what does that even mean? What does that even mean to
Alright, sige.
be authentic? What sa pasabutan ng authentic di ay?
authentic.
Utin sa atik-atik
Ayun kay mo kontar. What does authentic mean?
Well, unapologetically yourself. Kanang murag, you don't really care too much about the opinions of other people is my perception of it, and you let the world know that this is me. Like, wak mo yung mabuhat, ani, and you have to take it or leave it.
Okay.
You know,
authentic.
That's genuine for me.
That's genuine.
If you're genuine ba nga, di ka ba bahala sa mga pangunaw na suban ba?
Na mo ko belief sad bay. I don't know if you can agree with this. Kita man good, we are the last people who will understand ourselves. Kita we are the easiest to fool ourselves. Akong pasabot is dili kita makibaw kinsa ta. We are just first of all, we're a narrative, right?
Yeah.
People are narratives, right? We're stories, right?
Their own, yeah.
And I don't think fix atong identity.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly, right?
Over time, it's
Yeah.
very. And I don't think fix atong identity.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly, right?
Over time, it's
Yeah.
it's fluid.
Yeah.
You know, dita, like I'm not the same person I was 8 years ago.
Or yesterday,
Dito.
right?
But being
Dito.
authentic, siguro, I guess, like going back to that question, is being who you are right now. This being present.
Yes,
Correct.
yes,
Right.
yes.
It's present.
But being present is different from being authentic, right? Being present is being in the moment, right?
Yeah.
You know.
I think it's a part. It's an element of
Yeah.
being authentic.
Yeah.
I don't think we can say that being present is being authentic, like fully. You know, it's a key part.
being present is a key part of being authentic.
Yeah.
Ikaw Baijay, do you notice the changes of who you are, or the idea of who you are? Let's just say, as Fonzy mentioned, 8 years ago, and who you are now.
You were just saying that you are actually just a reverberation of what you bounce off. Munang it's important bitaw who you relate to. O kinsay mo mga gipang hinabi kanang in your days, and that would shape you, man. Sakto gito nga. It's actually called neuroplasticity in the physics pa. So the point is,
the brain is neuroplastic.
Exactly.
Moldable pa siya.
Mold yun na kanon. Ibisan pag unsa kang idara. So ang side is also, that's the cause of aging. If you're saying na man ako, padong ako balik, that's your old guy.
Atropise mong utok.
Atropise ka. So ang side of that, especially as a practitioner of this mind science and so on.
Yeah.
Yoga.
Kana nga dili gyud ko moingon pud nga kanang maoro gyud na. Nga ako mo na gyud ko. Because there are a lot of facets of biyo mo kita. No, that only comes out if need be.
Or in certain situations.
In situations, man. Makaingon ko lain na mo di.
Kinsa man ni si Baijaya?
Wam di kay.
Sungayan ba ni day?
Yawa am di kay kare. So kana.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Very interesting, right?
Yeah.
The idea of self is actually very fluid, and we don't really know. We don't really know what's up, and I think that's important to be present. I think that's a really key feature of authenticity, is being present, so that you will know exactly what it is and who you are as Fonzy. And the Fonz, now that you've been here for a week, are you staying for a little bit longer, or are you going back to Canada? And what awaits you in Canada?
I have a flight tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I might move that.
Okay.
To where? Back home?
Toronto. Yeah.
Okay.
To Toronto, and then I have a show for one of the artists that we manage.
In Toronto.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're moving it. You plan to move it.
Yeah. We'll see how I feel later.
No, really.
I'm curious, but because Drake is from Canada, diba?
Yeah, he's from Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto, right?
Yeah,
so
he's like 15 minutes away from his house.
Tell me about environment that brought us Drake. Like, who was he with? Did he get that from the States when he moved there, or was it already there when he was in Canada?
I think Toronto is a very multicultural city, and Canada as a whole, you have people from different cultures and countries. The line and just like contribute to the culture. You have, I don't know, Jamaicans. The Caribbean culture is a very huge part there, and then you have the Asians. The Filipinos are like pretty big there too, and sagul sa mga Anglo and like all the white people that are there, right? So it's a very interesting mix of people that come together and share their ideologies, share their art, share the way of expressing themselves and the way of life, and everyone is very open about that in general.
So in Canada, did he hone his character? Did he hone his skills home, or was that like?
I would say like it served as the breeding ground for kung asa siya nagbabaid ba.
So kinsa
There really wasn't like Canada wasn't known as a world. It wasn't sure you had Celine Dion and who else is known Canadian?
Bryan Adams.
There's so many, right? It's like one of their biggest exports is arts. Justin Bieber is Canadian.
Yeah, so kinsa man ang iyang who was he surrounded with?
He started like
in Canada.
Props to Drake. He built it on his own. Like he built it with his friends. And him just be like hip hop wasn't as big in Canada yet because as you know, it's a very North American genre. You have places like New York and like the West Coast that served as the hotbeds for hip hop. But then, Drake, he really put Canada on the map.
But you're now based in Toronto, Canada, right?
Yeah,
so
I'm
you
based
must
in Toronto.
get that somehow the Drake magic, right?
Yeah.
In you, right?
I mean, like every time, I speak to Americans and, I tell them I'm from Canada, Toronto, it's always like, oh, Drake.
Oh, yeah.
And like, I mean, everyone has this perception that a lot of good musicians are from Canada. A lot of good art is from Canada. So the people there are nice.
What do you think is Drake's biggest contribution to the world of music?
I think like he brought a lot, like he really mixed a lot of, he was brave enough to mix different genres in his sound, right? So you have like the Caribbean influence, and that's very Toronto. He was in charge of developing the quote unquote Toronto sound, which is very moody, R&B, dark, sexy, and it's very, it fits well with the environment because it can get dark there. 6 months out of the year is all we have for sunshine, and then the rest is gloomy.
I have a question.
Dark and cold.
What's Canadian? Kung mataba like Canadian music, what's really like Canadian music? Kung mayroon ka ganang some part of the traditional side
like
of music.
more on the traditional side. I really can't speak on that, but I feel like there are hints of mga more of the native.
Kusog sila native po dito?
It's pretty big there. The indigenous
really
type of music.
Oh,
they place a lot of respect, and they really have space for that community. The people who were actually like.
See, Drake, I think describes what we call a musical influencer, like a musician who's also an influencer, because his music really went viral, right?
Yeah.
Like nasa mga kanta ka to mga like the cell phone song, right?
Yeah.
Nokia. On my cell phone, right?
Yeah.
Maminaw ka na niya murag bati ani nga tao pero ni viral ba? You know what I mean? Like, it caught on to a wave of kaning ideas on social media, but and it became like this meme, right?
Yeah.
Right?
And that's what he's so good at. He's also an actor.
Yeah.
Like,
he's also an actor. I didn't know that.
He's child actor na siya.
Oh, so naman tayo Drake fan. Just tell us your piece.
Tell us your piece.
Ralph, unsa may mong naibawan ni Drake, Ralph? What can you contribute to this conversation? Go ahead, Ralph Chavez.
Okay.
Who's also a Drake expert, as it turns out. Go ahead.
I'm not a Drake expert, pero I
you know
do,
enough.
I do know enough.
Okay.
The internet and all that. Pero I did know he was a child actor. I think he was a Disney child actor. Actually.
Oh, really now?
I'm not sure. I don't think
I think it was Disney.
He was in Degrassi.
There was that, yeah.
Degrassi is like a very known coming of age show.
Oh.
And Drake was a kid in the wheelchair. But yeah, he was known for that. And then, young performer, like I truly believe, like a lot of people think that he brought his performative side, like as an actor, sa young music. So that's why he excels so much. He treats it like a performance. Young personality, young like whole packaging. It's a brand in itself, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So that's why he blew up the way he did, and rightfully so.
Right.
And I think just to go on the con, I guess this is because for the most part, I guess my forte would be like meme stuff. So
yeah. Tell me about the memes of Drake.
With regards to the telephone song, I think it wasn't necessarily that the song blew up because it was such a good song. But part of it was it really blew up because of the memes that came out of it. Because a lot of people were like making fun of Drake dancing. That's what I remember from it. Like one of the most popular memes that came out from that one was the one where he was like swaying his leg like his hands like that, and then like they would like edit stuff like he was like throwing money or something like that, or throwing anything with the sway thing.
So
the
grabbing
memes made the music video viral. That's what I would say about
So
that one.
grabe jud kayo ang relationship sa success nimo sa imong ability to go
Memeable.
viral,
To
to
be
be
memeable.
memeable, right? So ikaw
memeable.
Fonz, before you go, because I know you
Yeah,
have a very
sure.
busy schedule today. Unsa man imong meme karong adlaw, mga panahon na? Unsa man imong favorite meme?
Oh man, it's hard. It's changing all the time. I honestly have to keep up because like the last time I kept up with it was last week. So,
Okay.
inana ka pas-pas, right?
Yeah, I
The
know.
memes, It's like
Murag usay
Yeah.
ang news cycle murag mubo ra kaysa dili ka ba 24 hours gali usay, di ba?
exactly.
So good luck to you, and I hope you stay a little bit longer, maybe enough to perform here,
Yeah.
somehow in Cebu.
Oh yeah.
And whatever it is that you do in Canada, please make sure you let us know. Give us a steady stream of your music. We're going to be supporting that 105% here in 105.1 TMC.
105.
But before we let you go, Fonz, we'd like you to, kasi ang problema nato karon good is, kung magpatukar ta og kanta online, i-flag na sa social media. So what we want you to do is to do it a cappella style, right?
Without. We don't get flagged with that.
Yeah, we don't get flagged with the human voice because they don't. Fonzy owns Fonzy's voice.
Oh,
Well, the song
yeah.
that you're about to play, kay
Yeah.
kuha ni siya, it's in Nigerian.
In Nigerian.
so I
Yeah.
can't sing that.
So-
all I know is tuta, tuta, tuta. That's all you need to know. It's a very catchy song because of that.
oh really?
Yeah, but what the if you had to go to a karaoke place or whatnot and pick one of your songs or any song for that matter, what does Fonzy love to sing? Go ahead, man. Come on, give us a sample, man. Come on.
Let them hear that,
Oh,
bro.
man.
Anam ng Pinoy, di ba? Mga nagsample, di ba?
Oh, sample.
Ako, alegre ko ba? Kaya Christmas party, pasampolon ko. Pag DJ di abi. Mag-adlib sa ko. Sa muka lagi. Diga, ikaw eh.
I'm going on. I'll just do the Swaggy V one. The one that you kept playing.
Yeah.
Swaggy V.
Kaya atos ang drum roll.
I even forgot my lyrics.
Go search your lyrics, man. You have your time.
This is Fonzy doing the a cappella version of Swaggy B.
All right. Get that peso, 100 bands in my bank, that's my MO. Dripping nice in the club, cause it's fuego. Done to white 65 and we lay low. Oh. Swaggy V. Swaggy V. Who you buy? Di ka taga diri. That was when I rapped, but
Swaggy B.
Mura man kog nakadungog og shagidi.
Ladies and gentlemen, Fonzy.
thank you very much, Jiggy.
Don't forget
Thank you, Jaya.
you always have a home here in 105.1 TMC. I want you to go around
Yes.
and show everybody in Canada where
Right.
we are at Tops.
Yeah.
Okay, man.
Yeah, it's snowing like crazy there, so when they see this, they'll be like, oh.
So yeah, sila na.
So, yeah.
All right, bro. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
man.
bro.
Fonzy.
Ladies and gentlemen, Fonzy live in the studios of 105.1 TMC. Of course, he's just on his way out of the studios of 105.1 TMC. He's probably going to, have some photographs on where he is on Tops. If you want to find him, he's actually on Facebook, Fonzy, right? Fonzy. Or John Alfonso. Tony Fonzy. Okay, you can find him there, Tony Fonzy, and check out his social media. Let's have a photograph with him, Rap White only. Let's do that here in 105.1 TMC. You guys take care now. I'll see you soon.